Thanks very much for coming along today, everybody. It's great to see you all. We're announcing our show, 9th of December, Copper Box Arena. The boys are back in town. James DeGale, MBE, defending his IBF Super Middleweight Championship or title, and Lee Selby from Barry Wells, defending his IBF Featherweight title. For me, it's a pleasure to be involved with James, working with him, certainly for his homecoming fight. He's been on the road, he's been our British road warrior for quite a while now, and this for him is a homecoming into London, so all the fans can come and see him in person, see the guy who's gone out there, gone over to the other side of the pond successfully, which is quite a hard feat for anyone to do, but gone out there, done what he's had to do, and now he's back here, and we're hoping this is going to be the first of many fights in the UK. Big fights, he craves big fights, and I certainly, if I'm going to continue working with him, I'm going to deliver those fights for him. So it's a great pleasure, as I say, for James to be on the show on the 9th. And then we got Lee Selby, cracking fighter, you know, one of the best out there. We're blessed in the UK with featherweights and Ireland. Carl Frampton, Josh Warrington, who just won his IBF Eliminator. There's some great fights to be made there between these three guys, and first of all, Lee's got to get over his fight on the 9th, and when he does, his next fight will be a mandatory against Josh Warrington, so it's one that we really want to put together. I know the fans want to see it, I know Lee wants it, I know Josh wants it, and more importantly, the British public want it. They're the fights that they want to see, and it's our job to deliver them. So I'm absolutely delighted, as I say, that these two guys, two well-respected fighters, are on one of our promotions. And then we've got, to my left, Anthony Yarde, our new kids on the block. Anthony Yarde, 30-0. He'll be defending his WBO Intercontinental and European title fight on the same card against Nicola Sergei-Locker, I hope I pronounced that properly, who in his last fight drew with the former WBO champ Ziggles, so it's a step up for him. And then we've got our heavyweight sensation, Daniel Dubois, 5-0. He's fighting Dorian Dark. Daniel's going from strength to strength. He's looking good in every fight. He's got a long way to go yet. He's the Southern Area and WBC youth champion. Long way to go yet, but everything he does, I know the public like it, I certainly like it, and I'm sure he's sending some shock waves higher up for his way forward. But as I say, we've got a fantastic card here, great fights, great fighters, great youngsters coming through, and it's going to be a fantastic night for the boxing fans on the 9th of December at the Copper Box. I'm sure you've got a lot of questions to ask, so please feel free to ask them.
James, why is the time right to come home now?
Because it is, man. I've been craving the homecoming. I perform best at home. I want to come home. I've done the American thing. I've been to America, boxed out there, boxed in at the Barclays Center in New York in a unification fight. But it's time to come home now, man. I want the big fights back at home. My advisor Al Heyman put this towards me, this opportunity, and I was like, do you know what, why not? Uncle Frank's back, he's making a comeback, a proper comeback. As he said, he ain't been nowhere, but for me, making the comeback, he's put on a fantastic show with young prospects on the undercard, with Selby. This is a fantastic show. I can't wait to box on the 9th, and yeah.
You say that you perform best at home. You haven't done bad away, have you?
I've done fantastic away. I mean, I've been on a good run. Obviously, my first defence of my world title was out in Canada against Lucien Bouet. I probably didn't get the credit I deserved for that fight because Bouet was a live opponent and he had a lot left. Then I boxed Medina, and then obviously the big one against Shaq. So I've done all right, but there's so much more to come. So since Medina fight, I've been boxing one-armed, so it just shows you how good I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm a right-handed southpaw, everything comes off my front hand, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't throw the right hook, couldn't double up on my jab. So it's been frustrating, but it just shows you how good I am.
How's your punching normally again?
Back nice, back two-armed. punching hard, and you lot will see a difference in the night.
James, in terms of 2018, how do you see things mapping out? Who would you like to fight?
Big fights, the biggest fights, big arenas, big money. I'm recognised the #1 super middleweight in the world, but I need to prove it. Do you know what I'm saying? I want the big fights. Obviously, the winner of the Super 8, I'm in a win-win because it's either Groves, Eubank, or Smith. But they're the fights I want. But for the time being, I'm going to get through this one, and then Benavidez with the Al Heyman link up. That's a fight that can be made very easy. So hopefully we can bring them over here in a massive fight at a stadium, maybe the Arsenal or something. Or if I have to go to America again, it's not a problem. I'll do that. You don't understand. You don't know what I'm like. I just box whoever. I'm willing to fight whoever to prove that I'm the best. So I'm easy.
Who do you think is going to come out on top in that competition?
I originally said Smith. I just think he's too big. He's massive. He's 6'4". He's a good fighter. He can fight. But looking at the Eubanks and Groves' performances, that's a difficult one, man. It's a good little tournament. I'm going to say Smith. I'm going to stick to Smith, but I'm not confident. But Groves, I'm heading towards Groves as well. But it's good, man. But I want the winner. Would you
prefer Groves to win so that you can get that revenge fight?
Of course. That's a massive fight.
There anyway.
It's always there. That's a massive fight. Obviously, both being world champions as well now, it makes it even bigger. So, but I'm easy. I'm confident beating all of them. Eubanks had a lot to say as well. Runs his mouth, had a couple of good performances. So that's another one.
What sort of date would you hope to be up if you could make the Benavidez fight early next year?
Early, as soon as. So I'm going to speak to Al. Hopefully Frank will be able to sort. He can sort with Al Haven. And listen, the big fights, man. I think that's a good fight as well. He's young, up and coming. He's Mexican. He loves the fight. I think the styles gel. And over here we could do it big. So I'm hoping, because I think he's boxing that. What's his name? That Romanian geezer that's based in Las Vegas. The guy that he just beat. He's having a rematch with him. And once that's done, I think it's in January. So once that's done, maybe April, May time, yeah.
April. We've got a date at the quite a few dates, but in April we've got the O2 booked, and we've got a football stadium in London penciled in as well for some big fights. So we're doing that anyway. You know, this BT link up, Box Nation BT and ourselves link up has been fantastic, and now we're seeing the fruits of it. We're seeing, you know, what we can provide, what we can bring to the party to make these fights happen, and big fights happen for these fighters. That's the name of the game.
When you two are already talking about plans of James' next fight, does that mean you've got an agreement beyond this fight?
No, I think where we are with this one is I've always been interested in trying to get James in and fight again. I've spoke to his dad via myself, my son Francis, and we spoke to Al, and we've done a deal. So now let's get this one done, and then afterwards, you know, James and I were just talking before the fight. He said he just wants big fights. Well, you know what? We want big fights. So we agree on
Frank's
something.
Back.
We agree on it.
Uncle Frank's back.
I haven't been anywhere. I've been here all the time. It's where have you lot been? The one being here. So we're back in business, and 2018 is going to be great. You know, they've got to come through. So the obvious question: who are they fighting? We're waiting for the IBF via Al with Al Heyman. We're waiting for the IBF to confirm the two opponents. We was hoping it would be done. Hands up. There's nothing I can do about that. Wait for Al to come back to me, and I'm quite sure we'll have that sorted out within the next day or so, and then we'll make an announcement. But most important thing is they're here in London. Big Christmas show, 9th of December.
Right. This recent recruitment of James Lee on top of Carl Frampton, do you think that again gives you the country's biggest stable? There's been a lot made about your role.
I don't look. I've got to be honest. I don't sit and think about things like that. I think about, we've got these dates. These guys are the best fighters around. Let's get them together. He's the #1 super middleweight. They've got a tournament going called the Super Six. Super Six. It's the Super 6 minus #1, because he's the #1. So that's what that is. So they got, anyone wants to be considered to be the best, they got to fight James DeGale. With Lee here, he's a fantastic fighter. Carl Frampton's with us. Josh is with us. Look at those trilogy of fights that we can make. Those 3 different permutations of fights we can make with these guys. Who knows what's going to happen? There's a close fight. It's a tough fight. There's rematches to be made. And that's what we want to deliver. The fans want it. We're in it for the fans. And I'm going to say this really out loud. We're not StubHub orientated. We're here for the fans. We're not slinging out pay-per-view fights. You know, we want to do pay-per-view. Of course we do. Some big fights need to be pay-per-view. We are here. We're fan-friendly. Come and see the shows. Fan-friendly. You can see these guys on BT, on Box Nation, or buy a ticket and be there. And we want to be delivering the best to our customers and to the boxing public, because they deserve the best.
But now I ask you that, do you think you now have the country's best stable?
I think it's not. I don't even look at it as a stable. I'm involved with some of the best fighters around, no doubt about that. But I've been doing that for a while. You know, Billy Joe Saunders is no slouch. Terry Flanagan's no slouch. They're undefeated guys. They've got great pedigrees. Olympians. You know, he's an Olympian. We've brought guys through in a tough way without the help of a big TV company. It's a game changer now. What I know that we got some great folks. What I do know we got the best young talent by a mile. Not in this country, I think in the world. 2 of them here. Some of the great young fighters coming through with us, and they're, you know, within this time next year, they're going to be sitting this here. These guys will be in their big fights and moving forward, and these guys will be sitting. We've got a great talent coming through. We've got great talent we're promoting, and you can see all of it. You can see the established #1 in the world. You can see one of the best featherweights in the world, who some people may say is the best featherweight there. We'll find out in due course, provided he comes through on the 9th. But you can see all of those, along with this great talent, on our shows regularly. Look at the shows we've been putting on, the undercards. They're fantastic value for money all the way through. We've been delivering quality, and that's what we're about. Not in there. And remember, we've done it losing money. You know, as a few people have mentioned, you know, we look at their accounts, they've lost a few quid. Well, we did lose a few quid, and you've got other promoters who've made a fortune but won't invest. This guy, why weren't they fighting on Saturday in Cardiff? That'd been my show. I'd have had them on there in a heartbeat. Why weren't they on there? They're here now, and they're here for a reason, because we're behind them. We believe in it, and we're investing, and we're putting our money up. And as I say, this is all part of next year, providing these guys all come through next year, building and delivering to the British public, the British boxing public, great fights and great value for money.
Andre Ward has vacated his belts.
Yeah.
And it's like heavyweight. What do you think of Yarde?
Look, Anthony is a quality fighter. He's, I mean, you know, 12 fights as an amateur. He's had 13 fights as a pro. I mean, compared with how many fights you had in your whole career, and how many amateurs do you have?
Oh, I had over 100.
You look at that, and then look at what he's had and what he's achieved. It's been quite significant. Having said that, he's got a way to go. He's not going to beat an Andre Ward. He's not going to be world champion in his next fight. I think sometime next year, towards the end of the year, he's going to be in a position where we're going to have him up there and thereabouts, and he'll be challenging for that. Look, fight for a British title tomorrow. I don't know what Frank Buglioni was doing, fighting whoever he was fighting last week. He should be coming to fight him. Did you see that poll? They did a poll on one of the forums, and it was 85% of the people wanted to see Frank Buglioni and him, not Jose Burton or all the losers, the winners fighting each other. But you know, he's ready to do that, not a problem in the world. And this guy over here, I mean, he's a monster. He frightens me when I watch him. I watch him and I can't believe, in my time in boxing, and I've been around, well, I remember Noah. I've been around that long, and I remember seeing, when I see him and I watch him, he is without a doubt, in my opinion, the best young heavyweight I've seen at this stage of his career, bar none. what he's had and what he's done, and he can be anything. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to take the world by storm. And I'm putting a lot on his shoulders, but you know what? He's capable. He's in that ring. It's like he's in his front room. He's in there. He's relaxed. He goes out and does what he does. He's a fantastic talent. And for me, I'm excited. You know, my mate here, Uncle Frank, well, it's old Granddad Frank. You know, but I'm there and I watch it and I see it and I get excited by this. This is exciting times. You know, and I'm thinking next year, wow, what is it going to be? It's just a pleasure to be involved and a pleasure to be doing this, because I love it and I love being involved with these guys and seeing them and bringing them to the British public. It's just great. It's a great time for British boxing.
Lee, James said there's a lot more to come from him. How much more is there to come from you, particularly next year when you can fight Josh Warrington and Carl Frampton?
I think there's a lot more to come from me. I'm not the finished article yet. I'm always in the gym, always learning. All my fights have been like progressive fights, learning fights. I'm not the finished article. You know, next year could be a big year, but my main focus is on December the 9th. Hopefully I come through that okay. And then my mandatory challenger is Josh Warrington. I can clear up his obsession with me, finally. And then maybe move on to a big fight at the end of the year with Carl Frampton.
Where did the needle between yourself and Josh come from?
You better ask him. I don't know what it is, but he's obsessed with me. Like for the last 3 years, he's been mentioning my name. Even during his last fight, in between rounds, I heard his father saying, Lee Selby this, Lee Selby that. I don't know what it is. I got nothing against the boy, but now he's mandatory challenger, and early next year I'll take care of business. He wanted
Josh. You know, Josh is with me, obviously, and Josh is my man. I don't mean that being disrespectfully. I'm Josh. I'm with Josh. And we've done a deal to make this fight happen, and the best man to win. But Josh said to me, I want challenge. Force that fight. Get me in that. Get me that eliminator, the final eliminator. So there's no way anybody can stop this fight from happening. And that's what we've done. And I suppose there is a bit of an obsession there from that point of view. But you know what? The obsession's done. It's a magnificent obsession. It's done now. Please God, Lee comes through his fight okay. Then I'm quite sure, because the money will make it work, we're at Elm Road. Big fight.
I see. Hopefully that come through.
And that's what we want to do. That's where we're at. He wants it. Josh wants it. Carl Frampton wants them. They want it. They're fighting men. You know, you want it, don't you? It's money. They want the big money. They want the big fights. We want to deliver it.
There's no reason why, like Carl, Josh and I can do like a round robin, all fight each other and see who's number one.
Is it Warrington you'd actually prefer first out of him and Frampton?
Well, I got no choice. He's mandatory challenger.
But anyway.
That's done. That's the next. Well, that's the fight next. That's the fight. Whoever is the IBF champion on the 10th of December, who's got that belt on the has got to fight Josh Warrington. I'm quite sure it'd be Lee, because Lee's a class act.
I hope so.
But that's
right.
where we're at, and that's what we're doing. What?
James, do you ever see yourself moving up to light heavyweight?
Possibly.
Jack, or you got a lot of business at 168 still?
There's a lot of business at 168 still, isn't it? There's so many fights at super middleweight that I want and that I need, really. I think there's some brilliant fights, but yeah, maybe it's a possibility. I'd love the rematch with Badou Jack, and I would move up in weight because, as I said, he beat me one arm, so he must feel a bit stupid, really, coming on some of the stuff he said after the fight. But I would go up in weight, I would, and once again with the link with Al Heyman, I think I'd be able to get a world title as well. Adonis Stevenson is a dangerous fighter. Do you know what I'm saying? You've got to pick your fights if you move up in weight. But he's getting old. He's 40 years of age. He's aged well. He's black don't crack. But you know what I'm saying? We'll see. But I've got so many fights at super middleweight. I'm just concentrating on that. And I say, man, the future's looking bright.
You wouldn't lie to it, so you might have featherweight again coming after you one day.
Yeah,
Why not? You
never know. No,
that's the name of the game, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Good fight, wicked fight. But I'm ahead of my head in my career. You know what I'm saying? for Yarde, but you never know though.
When you're 40.
Yeah, when I'm 40 and he's in his prime and they can come and get me.
James, following up on that, recently Eddie had a statement to you and Lee Selby as well, but it was a mistake for you guys to go to America. I was just wondering,
no way.
Both your take to say on that.
No, me, listen, I've lived the dream. Come on, like, I've lived the dream. I've earned a lot of money. Who wouldn't want to do it?
I went to America.
I'd love to do something.
Yeah.
I just topped my own bill at the Barclays Centre in front of like 15,000 people on Showtime, on Sky. It's crazy, it's madness. But I say, I wanted to come home, and I'm with Frank. It's good, but Lee?
Yeah, I went to America with the hopes of securing a big fight. You know, all the other world champions out in America. I boxed Fernando Montiel, who was a former freeweight world champion. I returned home, but we made offers to the other champions, and nothing's come of it. But it hasn't been a mistake, no, I don't think.
And how the large offers a step up? But you need that to sort of show your best, think you're really the best at it.
Well, yeah, in a boxing career, you always like gradually step up. So everything's timing, and the right opponents will bring out the best me. So yeah, at the right time.
You had a bit of a struggle with weight last time. You needed a bit of extra time. You can stay at light heavy now for a while. Is everything right this time?
I'll definitely stay at light heavy. It wasn't a struggle at all. As I said in one of my interviews, I had family. Everyone has life in it that you have to deal with. I had to go through certain things, just literally the night before my weigh-in. So my head wasn't in the right place. Even Frank said to me, "Are you sure you're about to fight?" I said, "This is the fight game. You have to deal with things. It's life as well. Sometimes you go through things. You still have to go out on the street and carry on with your life." So we got the job done. Third round knockout, but I'm not struggling to make weight.
Dan, you guys getting on sometimes. What do you think of Joe's recent debut against Guinness?
Yeah, he's a tough competitor. He looks strong and fit and everything, but yeah. I mean, we can meet down the line, and I'm sure I'd like to challenge or fight him. And yeah, down the line of my career, I'm just taking one fight at a time. Eventually, we'll meet up.
David, can I ask you what you thought of the...
Sorry, say
again. Same question to you, Frank, as well. Joe's
yeah, it's a fight to be made down the line. There's no doubt about that. You know, Joe's he's had a stellar career as an amateur, and he's just now turned pro. I'm sure their paths are going to cross. They've sparred with each other quite a bit over the years, so I don't think you're too worried about taking that fight, are you? So there you go. So and when he was sparring, how old was you then? He was 18. What's he going to be like when he's got his man strength? When he's a man, my God, it frightens me. I wouldn't want to fight him.
Daniel, can I ask you what you thought of the Joshua performance of the weekend?
I didn't watch the fight. I watched a couple of highlights. It looked like a tough, grueling fight for both of them. Yeah, Joshua's going to win, regardless of the stoppage, prematurely or not. But it was a tough fight, and the best man won. So.
Frank, did you get anyone on your board about changing the age limit in British life?
I don't think that's going to be an issue. That's not an issue now. The issue is getting Frank Puglioni to fight him. That was trying to make that fight. But regarding where we're going with Daniel, is obviously Sam Sexton's a champion now. I think he's having a fight on one of our shows. I think we're working on that at the moment, and no doubt sometime next year he'll fight him for the title.
And they're willing to sort of change that rule for them.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he's Southern Area champion. Why shouldn't he?
Anthony, how do you feel about Puglioni's fight? Back on it, so what's your attitude?
Well, it makes sense to me. That's just what makes sense. As Lee Selby said, someone's obsessed with him. Puglioni's obsessed with me. He keeps calling out my name. But then when we're trying to make the fight happen,
Have you sparred?
Don't need to spar him. No, we haven't sparred. He was a super middleweight before. We was meant to spar one time actually, but it didn't happen for whatever reason. I won't get into that, but same thing with the fight. I personally don't think he wants to fight me. I've had certain conversations with certain people. I'm not going to put no one in deep waters, but he don't want to fight me. It's a fact. He fought Craig Richards, yeah, who I know well. He's had one fight before that at light heavyweight. Gave him a week's notice, and I didn't even watch the fight, but everyone was telling me it wasn't even that much of a gap. Not only that as well, Craig fought a week before, so you know what happens to your body when you have a fight. Well, fighters know, adrenaline and all that, feeling tired the next day, not sleeping because you're excited and all them kind of things. Craig took the fight on 6 days notice and went 12 rounds with him, and there was times when it was up and down. That's what people were telling me. I didn't even watch the fight, but Booker didn't want to fight me. Trust me.
Are there any more questions?
Yeah, just one, Frank. This could be like a midnight matinee with Big Ondo and Lomachenko on the same night.
Who's going to win? Sorry.
Lomachenko.
No, I thought you asked me.
No, I said this could be another midnight matinee.
That? No, it's not. It won't be. The Copper Box show will be finished by 11:30.
Okay.
That's done. But the Lomachenko fight, as you know, will be on Box Nation.
But you tried up the last one.
Yeah. No, this is there was for obvious reasons. But no, this will be this one. That won't be happening. So don't worry, boys. You'll be able to go and get your cocoa, get to bed, and you might even get match of the day if you like.
Thank you very much. James, a question. James, so you've got other champions out there, Benavidez and Mirrors. Where do you see yourself getting them fights?
As soon as, as I said before, with the link with Al Heyman, I can get the Benavidez fight next year, early part of next year. Ramirez, but I'd like that, as I say, man, any of the champions I want to fight. I want to test myself, so, yeah.
Are we done? Thanks very much for joining us, and appreciate it. And as I say, you'll get the opponents in the next 24, 48 hours. Thank you. All good?
Yeah.
Get the boys in.
Sorry, come in, mate. So down on the side of James.
Yeah, nice and tight.
Everyone just stand here, please.
Good?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jack, did you have a really quick round, mate?